Hey, did y'all hear what happened in Kenya? So, a bunch of delusional Hebrew Israelites, all right, these Hebrew Israelites, but these the kind that believe in Jesus, all right, went to Kenya and apparently told these Kenyans, all right, these African Kenyans, that Jesus was black. And you know what happened? Them goddamn Kenyans got offended and tried to whip them African Americans' asses, all right, for messing with their white Jesus. That's embarrassing. It's embarrassing on so many different levels. It's embarrassing for African Americans. It's embarrassing for Kenyans. And listen, I know Kenya. I'm not gonna make it just a Kenyan thing. All right. It's funny that it happened in Kenya though. Because these Kenyans who are Christian, the ones that had to be Christian, they love their white Jesus. They love their white Jesus. And you can't be telling them that they white Jesus ain't white. Be damned if it's got to be black. And you talk about some self-hate. But check it out. These black African-American Hebrew Israelites are also self-hating. Because they keep calling themselves Hebrew Israelites. We ain't no goddamn Hebrew Israelites. We West Africans.
Shalom. All praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Ba'asham Yawashai, Ba'asham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the Great Millstone, and salutations to all you sincere Kiam. And this is your brother Bawan, back again with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'asham Yawashai, Ba'asham Rakakwadash. All praises and glory is due. And this is going to be a pack out there because I'm sure that you saw the clip at the beginning of this video, and that clip is from a YouTuber called Afro Think Tank, and he's one of these pro-black Pan-African, dudes, right? That always got some shit to say about the Hebrew Israelites, And it's funny how all these different black unconscious groups, whether it's the Kemet niggas, right? Whether it's the Christians as well, whether it's the Pan-Africans, whether it's the pro-black niggas, right? Everybody always got something to say about the Hebrew Israelites, but they will swear up and down that, the Hebrew Israelite doctrine is false, the Hebrew Israelite doctrine is this and that, but they always got something to say about this truth. And he does as well, and you heard what he said. You heard basically everything that he said was off, and it was incorrect, and it was wrong. But of course, we'll have to go through them step by step in order to show you why and how they are wrong. So the first thing I want to get right, and the title of this video will be, we are not no damn West Africans, okay? That we are Hebrew Israelites, right? That's going to be the title of this video, because in the beginning of his video he said we are no damn Israelites, we are West Africans, but that's incorrect. It's the other way around. We are not no damn West Africans, okay? We are the Hebrew Israelites. And it's funny how this dude right here is talking about you're not Hebrew Israelites, you're West Africans, even though that term West African, just like the curses said, further proof that we are the Hebrew Israelites, is a byword and a proverb against our people. The same way black is also a byword and a proverb against our people. So let's get that precept. Thou shalt become a byword and a proverb among all the. Let's get that. Here it is. So this is the book of Deuteronomy 28 verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whither Yahweh shall lead thee. Right. So Jakes in Babylon the Great, right, are black, are African Americans, are all these terminologies, and JK and West Africa are just Africans, we are all the nationalities and different identities that we have here in West Africa that were given to us by Esau Edom, because the major theme of his video was constantly complaining about how we are still under the hypnosis and the brainwashing of the white man. We are still following the white man's book, right? Because that's the thing that these black unconscious Negroes always like to say. The Bible is the white man's book. The Bible is the white man's book, right? And he even goes even farther than that, because basically what he's saying is that the Bible is a, quote unquote, that the Bible is a book of fairy tales, even though it's not. Because what he's saying is that, oh, that Elijah Hawashai didn't even exist, which of course we'll get to that, but we're focusing on his first points, where he said that, oh, we're not Hebrew Israelites, but rather we are West Africans. But it's the other way around. We aren't West Africans, okay? Whether it's Jake that is scattered in America, Babylon the Great, whether it's Jake in the Northern Kingdom, right, the so-called Latinos and Native American Indians, or Jake in the Southern Kingdom, which is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, okay? We are not West Africans. We are not black. Neither are we any of these other identities that we put upon ourselves. We are the Hebrew Israelites, okay? And his ignorance is on full display, right? When he basically said that we are West Africans, which is factually incorrect, because even during the transatlantic slave trade, it wasn't just from West Africa that Esau was, putting our people in captivity from, okay? You also had Jake in Europe as well. But I guess if you tell him, he probably won't even believe in the black nobility, right? Or even the Moors as well, right? That was ruling in Europe at the time, because all those black nobles, right? Whether it's King James, Charlemagne, Henry the Third, Henry the First, and so on and so forth. They were all considered Moors, okay? I don't really like going into the black nobility of Europe, right? Because I'm more interested in West African history, since I'm right here in West Africa. And the big thing that he's trying to say is that, oh, you don't need that Hebrew Israelite identity. You don't need to cope, right, with being a Hebrew Israelite. But here is the thing, okay? Something that he doesn't seem to understand. It is not cope, okay? Let me see. Where did I? Here it is. So this is the book of Deuteronomy 28, verse 36. Okay, and I've already read this, but let me read it again. Yahweh shall bring thee and thy king, which thou hast set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone. Right. And hey man, that's what this dude is trying to do right here, trying to call our people back to serving other gods, because what he's going to say is that, oh, what you should be doing is following our original African spirituality, pouring libations and honoring the ancestors, right? And practicing the African spirituality like voodoo and so on and so forth. Even though voodoo is technically a French word, right? I think it's a French word for like toy or something like that. I've forgotten the exact terminology, right? But even though voodoo is a French word that was given to basically the African spirituality that you pro-black Pan-African Negroes always like talking about, right? So once again, something the white man supplied you right there, but that's beside the point, right? And you see the same thing happening among our people, whether it's plantation Christians, whether it's the Muslims, whether it's the like I said, pro-black, black unconscious niggas with their African spirituality and their Kemet and their Moors and 5% bullshit, right? It's all these idols and gods of wood and stone, right? Idols that are not that do not exist and that cannot save you, right? So Deuteronomy 28, verse 37: Thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whither Yahweh shall lead thee. And that's exactly what has become of our people, okay? A astonishment, a byword, and a proverb. And now let's go to the next preset, okay? Because this is something else I wanted to bring up, because like he said, right? Oh, you guys we are not Israelites, we are West Africans. Well, guess what? I am a West African and I say we are Israelites, okay? And you can't tell me that, oh, the only reason I'm an Israelite is because I don't know my West African history or I don't know my West African heritage. That's bullshit, okay? I am here in West Africa. I know the history. I know the heritage. I know the tribal cultures and customs. And I'm telling you that we are Israelites, okay? I'm an Igbo, for example, right? Take it like that. I'm an Igbo, for example, and I know that before Esau came into this land and started, putting our people in captivity, right? The kingdom of my people, the Igbos, right, of my tribe as the Igbos. Let me get that. Let me go to that. Let me show you that is the Inri kingdom. And guess what? That name Inri, okay, Nri, it goes back to Israel. So let me get that. Let me get that. This is right here. The kingdom of Nri, also known as Oraeze Nri Igbo. Okay, Oraeze Nri. In other words, the house of the king, right? Nri, which is basically the name of the founder of that kingdom, which is actually an Israelite, Hebrew name. That name Nri is actually a Hebrew name, and it goes back to Iria. I believe that's how you say it. But of course, I'm going to get I'm going to get it in a blue letter so you can see it for yourself, right? And I continue reading. Was a medieval Igbo kingdom that originated around. And let me get that again, okay? Was a medieval Igbo, okay? Like I said, I'm Igbo, right? And majority of Jakes that are in Babylon the Great are also Igbo as well, because before they started calling us Hebrews, because they knew we were the Hebrew Israelites, right? And let's also get another one as well, because there is another ancient kingdom that existed, right, in West Africa before Esau came in, right? And which is Ouidah, okay? Ouidah, which is a city in Benin. I said Benin like I'm an American. I've been watching too many American videos, man. But it's Benin. That's what you call it here in Nigeria. That's how you say it here in Nigeria, Benin. Okay. So Ouidah is a city in southern Benin in West Africa. I said it again, Benin. It is known for its role in the 17th to 19th century Atlantic slave trade. The slave route, a track down which slaves were taken to the ships, is lined with monuments that leads to the door of no return, a memorial arch on the waterfront. The Ouidah Museum of History, based in an 18th century Portuguese fort, chronicles the city's slave trading past, right? Because basically Esau set up a slave trading port, in Ouidah, and they called it Ouidah, right? And why did they call it Ouidah? Because they knew that the slaves that they were dealing in and the slaves that they were carrying to America, right, to the US, to the North America during that time, were the Israelites, okay? The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. We don't say we are Israelites because we just saw the Bible and it kind of looks good to say that we are Israelites because that gives us a purpose and gives us an identity. No, we say that we are Israelites because our history is so inextricably linked, right, to the people of the book of the Bible and to the history of the Israelites that it cannot be. Let me get the meaning of the word inextricably, because I just want to go and use it off just like that. So so this is the definition of the word inextricably: in a way that is impossible to disentangle or separate, right? That's basically the identity of our people. And let's not even go into Fort Judah and Fort Benjamin, right, which are slave forts that were existing here in West Africa as well. Look, man, look. All right, we are not the ones that are saying that we are Israelites, okay? Bible prophecy, secular history is what are the one, and the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushua himself, right? The spirit of the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushua himself, they are the ones that are saying that we are the Israelites, okay? We aren't saying it ourselves. We aren't the ones that are saying it. It is the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushua that is saying it, okay? Right, so let's get back to my own kingdom, alright? So these dudes want to say that we're West Africans. Well, I'm a West African, right? From the kingdom of Inri, Oraeze Inri, okay? Oraeze Inri. And I'm here to tell you that we are the Israelites, okay? We are Jakes, we are the Hebrew Israelites. So let's just get the summary of it, because I don't really want to go too deep into it. And in fact, you know what? I just remember that as well, right? If you really not want to go all the way back, right, as far as you possibly can, to one of the oldest kingdoms right here in West Africa. Let's go back to the Nok, right? The Nok, and let's get that as well. The Nok refers to both an ancient African culture and a village in Nigeria where the culture's artifacts were first discovered, and it's also the currency code for the Nori. You know, let's just do Nok culture, right? Because hey, I can take you back as far as you want, right? In this knowledge, right? In the history of West Africa, and you will still see that we are clearly the Israelites, right? Whether I want to talk about the Mali Empire, the Songhai Empire, right? The Ghana Empire, which is actually not, which actually ironically isn't even in Ghana. It was in Burkina Faso, right? So I can try to remember the name of this empire. The one of the Wagadu, yeah, the Wagadu Empire, the Jollof Empire, right? The Kanem Bornu Empire, the Sokoto Caliphate, okay? The Oyo, the Oyo Empire, the Benin Empire, the Benin Kingdom, the Edo Kingdom, right? The foreign people that created the Dahomey Kingdom, right? Hey, look, once again, I am a West African. I am very aware of the culture and the great kingdoms that we as a people have built here in West Africa. But guess what? That does not change the fact that we are Israelites, okay? That does not remove or take away our identity, right? Or our true nationality as a people. All those empires only exist because we as a people went off and sinned against the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, and those empires are the reason, right, why the curses are, basically the reason why the curses fell upon our people, because of the wickedness of our people all throughout that time period, and that's why we are in the state that we are in currently. So you can cry about West Africa all you want. Oh, and you're not Israelites, you're West Africans. Why do you want to be Hebrew Israelites so bad? Israel isn't even real. It's a fake nation and blah. Hey, that's your opinion, which is painfully untrue. And it just shows the depth of his knowledge right there. And it shows the depth of his understanding and how far back he was willing to go, right, in order to understand his true identity and his true nationality. Because like I said, right, in Real Kingdom, which is basically, and you saw the let's go back to that and read it completely. So now this is the knock right now, which is the one of the first kingdoms or the oldest empire or civilization that you see here in West Africa. Okay, the Nok culture was an ancient Iron Age civilization in what is now Nigeria, my country, of course. Nigeria, known for its distinctive terracotta sculptures of human heads and figures, and its mastery of iron smelting, flourishing between roughly 500 BCE and 200 CE. Right. So if you notice, the time period is 500 BCE and 200 CE, which is basically before the death of our Lord Yahushua and after the death of our Lord Yahushua, right? So this is showing you the region in which our people fled to, right, during 70 AD, and also leading up to the Greek and Roman captivity as well, right? Because that's the reason why you see this West Africa is actually as populated as it is currently. Because prior to 70 AD, man, sure, you might have had some Hamites that were living around here, right? But prior to 70 AD, that was really when this place started getting more and more populated. And that's when you start seeing all these empires rise and all these great kingdoms come out of West Africa, right? One of the greatest ones, of course, being the Mali Empire. Mansa Musa, and how it's basically one of the richest men alive after King Solomon, of course. Well, like I said, of course, that's all great and good, great empires, large empires, lots and lots of ancient kingdoms that we had as Israelites, right? But that does not change the fact that we are the Israelites. We were Moors, great, but we're still the Israelites, right? We were rulers in of medieval Europe, right? During the Dark Ages, great, but we are still the Israelites, Jake was ruling in Rome during the time of um, um, Roman emperors like Nerva, Septimius Severus, Persinius Niger, Marcus Aurelius, but we are still the Israelites, okay? And even now, Jakes are Americans now, we're Americans now, we're West Africans now. That's great and all, nice byword and proverb you're putting on yourself. But we're still the Israelites, That is basically just it. No matter what you want to say, oh, we're West Africans now, oh, we are Europeans now, oh, we built Babylon now, we are still the Israelites, okay? Hey, no matter what nationality or identity or byword or proverb you want to put on yourself, your true heritage and your true nationality, you will never be able to basically unlink yourself from that. Okay, I don't really know a better way to put that. So now Jeremiah 6 verse 16, thus saith Yahweh, stand ye in the ways and see and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. And it's not, amen, if the spirit is dealing with you, all it takes is simple research for you to understand that, oh, we truly are the Israelites. But that's just it, man. A lot of our people are vindictive against the truth, right? And a lot of our people, the Most High Yahweh has blinded them from receiving this truth. And that's the case of this dude right here, of that dude, man, that basically he couldn't even see that what he was saying doesn't make any sense. Because, and let's go back to that, let's go back to the Enraged Kingdom, okay? So yeah, the Enraged Kingdom, and it was set up in according to this, the AI, right? The Google AI that is answering the question. And let me try and reload this, because it just suddenly went off. Let me try to reload it. Okay, here it is. It was set up in 900 AD, okay? That's how old it was. And this isn't like the only Igbo kingdom that existed. You also had the Arochukwu kingdom as well, okay? But the main reason I'm using this in Re is because, first and foremost, right, that's where I actually come from, right? Right, like the actual capital of the kingdom is like a little bit, I don't think it's even up to a mile away from my village, like the village I came from, where my parents were born, where my grandparents were born, where my great grandparents were born, where my great great grandparents were born. Going back all the way to the Jake that left Israel, right, as a refugee to come to West Africa. So my people have always been in this land, and my ancestors' graves are in this place up till my great great grandfather, because that's the earliest one I can actually find, right? So I'm here telling you once again, we are not West Africans, we are Israelites. So now, this okay, so let me yeah, this is it right here. It's one of the older Igbo kingdoms. This is where you first, this is where the Igbos, right, our Igbos, us Igbos as a culture and as a tribe here in Nigeria established ourselves with this kingdom. So yeah, so you see right here, which is the oldest kingdom in the Igbo land, and it's the kingdom of Inri. And amen, like I said, we did have great empires here in West Africa. We did have great kingdoms here in West Africa, and nobody knows that better than a Hebrew Israelite. But guess what? We are still the Israelites, okay? And now let's go to what I was trying to say. So let's get that. So you have the kingdom of Inri. So let's use it right here. So area, this is it right here. So this is what I'm looking. So this is what I was talking about right here. So this is the book of Genesis 46 verse 16. And the sons of God, the God which is the son of Jacob, okay, which is one of the tribes, one of the tribes of Israel, the northern kingdom, Ziphion and Haggai, Shuni and Esbon, Eri and Arodi and Areli. So let's go to that. And the root word for the word in Re is actually this one right here, Strong's H6179, which is Eri, okay? And if you look at it in the Assyrian script, that's the I, that's the Ra, and that's the Ya. So that's why I said it's Ria, Ria, or Raya. I don't really know how the vowel points come in, okay? And the word here is Eri, watchful, son of God and progenitor of the family of the Arites. So yeah, watchful. Okay, and let's go to the root word, which is I Iwar. I think that's Iwar. That's the I, the Wa, and the Ra. The Assyrian script is always confusing, but I think that's Iwar or Hmm. It's actually I don't think it's Okay, so Iwar, and this is the definition, or rather the outline of biblical usage: to rouse oneself awake, awaken in sight; to rouse oneself awake, to be roused; to stir up, rouse in sight; to be excited and triumphant. Right. So it's the Hebrew word for watchful. So it's a what? So it's basically what in the according to the blue letter, of course. I have to go and do this more research on it, right? But according to the blue letter, the word there is watchful, and this is the word that where you get the term with the word in read, because if you go into the history, right, and you go into the Igbo mythology, and especially, and I've done a video on this before, right? There are videos on my channel where I go into how a lot of the elders, right, that exist in the village. The village is actually Aguleri. Let me get that. So I'll show you. And I'm about to drop a lot of personal information right now. Where basically my actual hometown. This is right here. Aguleri is located in Anambra East local government area of Anambra State, Nigeria. And Anambra State is actually where I come from, right? My hometown. Like both my parents are from Anambra State. I'm actually from I'm not from Aguleri. I'm from Newi South. Hey, that's how much information I'm dropping. But the reason why I'm talking about Aguleri is because, like I said, this is the capital kingdom, right? Where the actual castle of the Inri kingdom is, where the kings of the Inri empire, the Inri kingdom, were living. Aguleri, okay? And that was, that's here it is. Aguleri is a medium-sized town situated in the Anambra Valley of southeastern Nigeria, a country on the west coast of Africa. So, like I said, right, is in this. That's my home state, and this is actually, like I said, is not even up to a mile. It's not even up to a mile from my actual hometown. So that's how I even know all these things. Okay. So like yeah, so that's how I even know all these things. Okay, let's continue. Okay, that's basically what I want to read about that, right? And this is, like I said, where the actual Inri kingdom was set up, and that word Inri goes back to the Hebrew. It goes back to that Hebrew name, because it is believed that the first king of the Inri kingdom was actually an Israelite by that same name, Iriah. Okay, and that's why we refer to that place as Eri and even Inri. Okay, because the name was changed the same way Judah went from Judah to Wida, right? This, basically a name lost, a name changed in translation. So yeah, so this thing that these pro-black, unconscious Pan-African ninjas like to do, where they'll act as if, oh, the West African culture and the West African kingdoms and heritage is completely divorced from Hebrew Israelites, or Hebrew Israelites, from Hebrew Israelites is off, even though even the small hearts, okay, have already even agreed that, hey, that the Igbos, let's get that, let's just show you that, okay, even and I want to get that right, because what you have was, and I've already done and I've done the videos on all this before, right? What you had was the Sephardic Jewish community, which of course doesn't really matter, right? But this is just showing you that even these small hearts know that we are the people as well. because even these Sephardic Jewish people actually basically deemed that the Igbo is one of the lost sheep of the house of Israel, which is of course which is of course we are not of that Jewish or small heart bloodline, right? But that's what they said. And I'm trying to find that article, and I've done videos on this before, so I'm trying to find that article, but I don't even really want to start going into that again, right? Because like I said, man, what this small heart say doesn't even really matter, right? So let me just leave it at that. So what this small heart say doesn't even matter, but that's just proof that Esau, even Esau knows who we are, even our people as well, right? That go back to that our people as well knew what or who we went back to, or where we came from, that we are the Israelites, right? That's your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. This is just me using my tribe as an example because that is what I'm the most familiar with. You can do the same thing with the Yoruba as well, and a lot of these other West African tribes like the Akan in Ghana, right? And various other West African tribes here in Nigeria. You can do the same thing and see how their people go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, basically the Israelites. So to say that just because that we're West African, we can't be Israelites, that's completely false, okay? Because the truth of the matter is that we are Israelites scattered in West Africa. We are Israelites here in West Africa, referring to ourselves as Igbo, referring to ourselves as Yoruba, referring to ourselves as Hausa, and all these other names, right? But we still go back to the same people, okay? The sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Because it's funny how a Pan-African will be quick to say, oh, we're all the same people, we're all brothers, right? But they don't even understand how we are brothers, right? So that's the first thing that he said, that actually, hey. So with that, I'll end the video right there, and I'm probably just going to do a part 2. Once again, all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High. How about Shami Awashai, Basham Kwadash, Wa Abad Babal, and through the Spirit of Yakian, and your Aquathwa edified. Shalom.